All right, guys. So I am a DJ, if you haven't noticed, and I love to talk about nightlife culture with my friends and family and, everybody, because I think it's very important because, excuse me, this is how we make our bread and butters from the nightlife. Well, some of us do like day parties and weddings and stuff like that, but the majority of DJs are thriving in the nightlife. So there's a video that I found called Party Culture is Dead. Welcome Gen Z Isolation. Interesting. Y'all go follow M's Wild World, and we're going to get into this video. Let's check it out.
If you're Gen Z like me, you probably remember your preteen to teenage years filled with songs mentioning partying a lot.
Yeah.
The club can't even handle me right now. The DJ got us falling in love, Low, and Jersey Shore was
Bro, people still play Low today. That is still like a popular song. I dropped that song last Saturday at a gig packed full of college kids. They all went crazy. And that song came out when I was like in middle school.
During the time.
That's right, you ready to shake it?
I hated that show so much. I hated that show so much.
Clubbing was the thing. But it seems songs nowadays don't really mention clubbing at all. And reality shows revolve around love triangles instead of getting drunk or go.
Well, I mean, a lot of songs do kind of talk about clubbing. They're just not dancing songs. Like a lot of these flex, I call them flex songs, like, by like Bossman D-Lo and stuff like that by Drake. Those are flexing songs in the club because clubbing is not like it was back in the day. It's still clubbing, but they don't dance anymore. They're like bottle service. It's all about that type of shit.
The club scene seems to have taken a nosedive. Now, why is this? Well, there's a few reasons actually.
Music stuff.
But let's start with the first. The loneliness epidemic.
Are you lonely?
Yeah.
How come?
Are you gonna make me emotional?
No. Speaking of loneliness, man, Valentine's Day is coming up, and I hate to be that guy, but if you are, I say if you're like over like 25, bro, if you in your 30s and you sad because you can't find a Valentine's Day and you live in like a very populated city, it's kind of your fault, man. I mean, you got to put in work to find a date, especially a lot of you females. I get it. You don't want to date the dude who has like the hairy back or the dude that may have the little pot belly, but he'll treat you like a queen, but you ignored him. And now you lonely crying like this chick right here.
Are you lonely?
But you coming to the club to pop bottles on Valentine's Day, though. I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ. It's tough. Like, I have a very social job. I live with 3 other people. I have 3 different romantic partners. So
this dude's fucking. He's got 3 different romantic partners and he's still lonely. What does that tell you? A lot of guys that I know out here can't even get one romantic partner. This dude got 3 of them. And he's still lonely. I believe most people find themselves in like this lonely slump when you give up too much of yourself too soon. He's got 3 romantic partners, as I just said before, and you're still lonely. You're spreading yourself too thin, man. I think that's why people become lonely. They just give up too much of their energy to just everybody, like their time. They worry about shit, and they don't focus on like one person that really just gives a fuck about them. Keep in mind, guys and girls, well, mostly girls, have access to so many dudes. Even the most mid-looking female. And we're not trying to, talk shit about anybody, but let's be honest. You got some girls out here who look kind of sloppy, and they're able to get dudes who got their shit together. They got their body together, their finances together. How many guys do you know out here that got girls that look like, whatever, but then these dudes got a good job, they got college degree, they be in the gym, 6-pack, healthy, and then that girl just be like she just sitting on the couch eating potato chips all day. But he loves her dirty draws. Plenty of girls can get guys like that. You know what I mean? They just have that blessing of beauty. But I think when you know that you have that, sometimes women want to like go for dudes who look like Brad Pitt and all that. They think that they could get something better, which you probably can. Go for it. But again, you spread yourself thin because you're missing out on your blessing. The guy that was average or a little bit above average would have loved your dirty draws. Y'all could have got married and you wouldn't been like these guys over here bitching and complaining on the internet that they lonely. So wish them the best though.
But
I wish everybody the best.
According to the most recent Healthy Minds monthly poll conducted by the American Psychiatric Association, a large portion of adults reported experiencing loneliness on a regular basis in early 2024. Specifically, 30% of respondents noted feeling lonely.
I would say earlier than that, like 2020, because whenever the whole thing happened, nobody couldn't do anything. And if you had a job that was like a social job like that last guy had, you was fired. And some of these jobs were gig jobs. So it's like you had no money coming in. You had to hit up the government, get on that PPP. You were panicking, stressed out. And then it's just like it kept delaying. It's like we thought we were going to be back on our feet in April. Because I think it happened like, January, end of January. We thought we were going to be back on our feet in April. Then it was like June. Then it was like a whole year. Then it was like 2 years. And then it was like, yo, what's going on? But yeah, I think it was around that time was when it got really bad because it killed all your chances of getting out there to socialize. But, you know, I guess it's getting worse and worse
once
day by day.
a week throughout the past year, while 10% indicated experiencing daily loneliness. The survey also highlighted that younger individuals were more prone to feeling lonely, with 30% of those aged 18 to 34 reporting experiencing loneliness daily or several times a week.
You got to get out the house, man. You see what these guys are doing? You see these pictures they're showing? These guys are in their house just sad, just looking at the wall all day, sad, crumpled up like a little bitch. I hate to say that, but because I'm not no David Goggins ass dude, but if you want to get out there and do something, you have to get out there and do something. I know that sounded very like cliche, but you have to just do it. I think the problem is that we find ourselves so lonely because we're lonely because we go out there in the world, we go out to work, we go do this, and we just go home and sleep. We don't think about, hey, how about instead of on Saturday, instead of sitting in the house watching fucking Netflix, paying money for it, by the way, and Hulu, and just playing video games all day, talking to people that you never will meet on real life. You just may see their picture on Instagram. Instead of doing stupid shit like that, how about maybe going out to a social event? You have the internet. You can literally Google on meetup.com, eventbrite.com, and have the fucking balls to just maybe dress a little nice one day, comb your hair, brush your teeth, and go out to like a brunch event by yourself. See, that's the problem. Like, we can't go into new areas unless we have our friends with us. I got to have my boys with me. I got to have my parents or my brother, my sister. I got to go with somebody. You can't just go by your fucking self and sit at the bar and chill. Yes, it's going to feel awkward, especially if you're not used to doing it. You probably going to be on your phone, like doing this. But look, that's step one. I mean, bro, buy yourself another shot because you have accomplished step one. Most people can't even do that. Now, step two is that you need to plan on doing it more consistently, like maybe once a week, twice a week. Look, man, you got to work for what you want. If you don't want to be lonely, you have to work to get out of that. That means not sitting here like this picture with this motherfucker sitting here like a fucking idiot and expecting somebody to come knock at the door or call your phone. Hey, Fred, you want to hang out? You want to be my best friend? Oh, my God. No, you have to go work for that. You got to get out there because look, in this society, people are like real skeptical of who they be around. So if you ain't about shit, most people ain't really going to want to be around you, or they might just take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get out the house, especially for y'all that live in these big cities. Get out the fucking house. One thing I like doing is if I don't feel comfortable, if I feel like I'm trying to break out of another slump, wherever I go, I wear my sunglasses. Because I think some of y'all, you know, it's kind of awkward if you're not a social person. Eye contact can be awkward. So wear your fucking sunglasses. Even if you got to go to the nightclub and it's like a bar or something, wear some buffs or some sunglasses because that may make you feel more comfortable. Anyway, just a little extra, but let's get back to the video.
It gets even worse. Specifically for men. Men have experienced a decline in close friendships. Women have also experienced this, but less pronounced. According to the
I
survey
used to be
Center
a
on
man.
American Life, the percentage of men with at least 6 close friends has fallen by half since 1990. 1 in 5 single men says he has 0 close friends. In 1990,
Who do
approximately
y'all consider y'all's friends, bro? I have maybe like 4 or 5 close friends, and they don't even do anything I do. I talk to them dead ass. I don't know if it's the same way for y'all girls out there, but all of my close guy friends, I literally talk to them. We literally have full conversations maybe like once a month. One of my friends, I talk to him like twice a year. I mean, he's married and everything now, but if I were to call any of them at 8 in the morning, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, midnight, I could be just waking up randomly at 1 o'clock in the morning. If I were to call any of them, there is a very high chance that they would still pick up that phone. And I would do the same for them. It's crazy. Be somebody I haven't talked to in like a year. He could call me right now at 1 a.m. I'd pick up that phone. Be like, yo, you good? So
35% of young men stated that their initial inclination when facing a personal issue was to seek support from their friends. However, today, merely 22% of young men turn to their friends for assistance during tough times. And I can't help but imagine the possibilities for why this might be. I think it's pretty obvious to most. Technology. While social media has done a pretty decent job at connecting people who might not have connected in real life, it's gone too far. Similar
technology, we're connected on the web, but we're also very disconnected. And technology has kind of bled into our everyday lives too, because I'm just going to be honest. Like, I've seen pictures of people, and I'm very observant, right? There have been people that I have befriended, you know, and you just befriend them, you're cool with them, yada, yada. You see their post every once in a while, and you kind of get this image in your head. Okay, they post with like a lot of people. They're on a boat. They're at the mall. They're at the club. You know, everybody's at the club. And then, like, they hit you up asking you for $20 for gas money. It makes you think, bro, on your Instagram, you're at clubs with all of these people all the time, going to birthday parties 20, 30 deep. And you telling me, you asking me for $20, like none of these motherfuckers can help you out? That's scary. That's scary. And then you see somebody else's social media presence, and they're barely even on the shit. 20 followers, and these dudes got a whole family and a whole big conglomerate of friends. It's crazy. Most of the stuff on social media is just people faking the funk, man. And it's sad because people go through hoops to post things just to get likes and comments to make it seem like they are famous or getting out there, have a lot of friends. They're just kind of pulling the wool over your eyes, man. It's definitely a psychological thing. It's the imperative of technology that is really making us kind of devaluing our own time. Because if you valued your time, you wouldn't go out of your way to just try to prove yourself to other people in that manner. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's weird.
How a casino tries every way to keep you engaged in the bet by not having windows, no clocks, letting you win, then letting you lose. Social media acts pretty much in the same way. It's here to keep you hooked for hours. It literally is a ticket to addiction, and I find it a bit reckless and cruel that those who created these apps just let them loose on children to keep them hooked.
And now we have the iPad.
It's not like they made your kids really download this shit. When we were in college, we had to have Facebook for some of the things we were doing in college. We had to have Facebook. So I don't know. It's weird. Technology has definitely embedded itself into everyday life, but it hasn't really been. I mean, I don't know if every college made you get Facebook, but I know when I was in college, I had to get Facebook for our work group, which was very weird. It's like we have a whole fucking website, but they made us use Facebook, and yeah, interesting.
Apps just let them loose on children to keep them hooked.
And now we have the iPad and the smartphone. But while they are great restaurant distractions, what are all those touchscreens doing to all those growing little brains?
It's even more baffling when they set limits for their own children, so they fully understand the detriment. They just don't seem to care. So of course no one's going out. They have technology.
Bro, of course you don't care. You're making them rich and rich and rich. I bet these people have so much self-control, like Mark Zuckerberg and them. The way they get on Facebook, the way they use Facebook is way different than the way we use Facebook. They're Facebooking to see what we're doing to improve their product. We're on there just trying to waste time and just wasting our lives away, man. You know, it's crazy. I've been to like the aquarium here in Dallas. I've been to art galleries and shit like that. Even at those places where the purpose of going there is to like fucking look at what's going on, like the exhibits, the pictures, you would still see every other person on their phone. It's like every single, you know what's funny? It's like when you go to restaurants too, when you're waiting in line. What do people do? What's it called? Ghost typing? They just whip out their phone and just start doing this. It's like you're not even talking to nobody. There's nothing that interesting on Instagram. So this is why, look, I started keeping books in my car. One of my friends, Black Caesar, he makes poetry. I'm just going to start reading books. Like dead ass, I'm just going to literally start sitting in waiting lines when I'm at the clinic, at the hospital, reading books, reading magazines. Because it's just nothing of value just looking at your phone all day. It's just so weird.
They just don't seem to care. So of course no one's going out.
Of course they don't give a fuck.
They have technology to keep them entertained.
Oh,
a slot machine in their hands for constant entertainment.
I will not give my baby
distracted.
an iPad.
But
I don't care how much my baby cries. I am not giving him no fucking iPad.
Social media to blame, of course. Another is cost. It's expensive to run a venue, and drink prices seem to keep rising along with cover fees.
Okay, now we're talking about some club stuff. So you see how they got everybody on their iPads, and then they have this nightclub. You would go to a nightclub, and let me tell you, everybody's just on their phones until like around 12:30 when they're all liquored up and the DJ's dropping the hits. But around 9 o'clock till midnight, everybody's just sitting in their sections on their phones. You have some people that are actually interactive, but most people in there on their phones are just looking around like head on a swivel, confused and shit. You'd be surprised the amount of people that go to the nightclub that just walk in there looking like where they at. It's almost like they got dropped off on a different planet, just totally oblivious. Like, where am I at?
It's expensive to run a venue, and drink prices seem to keep rising along with cover fees.
This is a nice looking club, though.
I know most
nice
people
layout.
my age just plain don't have the extra money to spend. For those who can afford it, and for those who don't live in major cities, there seems to be a lack of options.
Yeah.
At a certain point, people get tired of going to the club.
Yeah. Clubbing has gotten way too expensive, man. Like, it's like... And I know it sounds kind of ironic, me being a DJ. It's like, don't you want people to come spend their money with you because that's how you pay your bills? Yeah, but I want people to have a good time and not be so reckless with it, because you want this industry to be a thriving industry. If it keeps going like this, like declining like this, eventually the bubble's gonna burst. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like it's kind of burst in a way of the fun factor. Like I said earlier in the video, a lot of the more safer nightclubs, nicer nightclubs, kind of like in the video right here, that look real nice and plush. To get the best experience out of that, you know, you got to fucking buy bottles and shit like that. It's like people don't have a lot of nightclubs that are just really nice and lavish where it's just about the dancing, because they got to pay all these bills and they're trying to just rack up money from all these bottles and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that bubble has kind of, I think it's already bursted. You know, to go to like actual dancing clubs, bro, you'd probably have a better time going to like an Applebee's, like meeting a random chick or whatever and just dancing over there on the jukebox. I swear to God.
There seems to be a lack of options. At a certain point, people get tired
this
of
shit
going
right
to
here
the
gets
club
expensive too,
where they can't hear their friends talk because the music's blaring too loud. It's not exactly a place to connect on a deeper level. Bars and clubs are...
Look, when we talked about the loneliness, do not meet your girl or your guy at the fucking club unless you're in that industry too. Like maybe you were a DJ, a event manager, or something like that. I don't know. But the nightlife is very weird. Okay, if you meet a girl out, it doesn't mean she's a bad girl, because not every girl just goes out like that. Some people are just curious. But if you meet a girl who goes out frequently, there are some signs you can tell that she's a frequent goer. I would not do it. I don't care how pretty she is, none of that. There's plenty of girls in the library. out there studying, staying out the way. You know what I mean? Do not meet a girl out there. I think meeting girls in the nightlife, I think it's a good way to practice your icebreakers, to practice your, what do you call it? Your, what is that called? Like you're speeding your game. Like, you know what I mean? To practice your conversation for a woman who's of value outside of the nightclub. So, yeah, man, be careful out there.
Down. It seems now the most
Y'all
popular
getting
option
heartbroken
is to
left and
find
right.
entertainment at home through streaming or whatever else might be on your phone, TV, or computer. While a lot of people cite the pandemic as the cause of the club culture decline, I don't think that's the root cause. It definitely escalated it, but I don't think it's the main cause. Music is a culture's lifeblood. If we see the most popular hits of each year, we can see a steady decline in the songs alluding to clubs, dancing, and partying.
Yeah.
Starting in 2003,
because these people aren't making good club music, bro. They're not. They're remixing the same shit from like the 90s and 2000s. Everything's making a full circle. I mean, one of the top hip hop songs right now sounds just like Wipe Me Down by Boosie. The Tweaker song by D'Angelo or G3, LeVar Ball's son. That song sounds like something that came out when I was in middle school. And it is the top club record right now. Everything is just kind of going full circle. We have that yearn for nostalgia for that 2000s, 90s dance music because that's when it was good now. Because all this new stuff, they not talking about nothing but popping pussy, twerking, flexing a stupid ass looking Richard Mille watch, bust down, and selling drugs. That's all they talking about. The beats sound dope, but they're not talking about nothing dancing, nothing co-ed. Go to a club today. Go to any club, I mean, at least in America, right? Because other countries I can't speak on. But go to any club in America in like a major city like Chicago, Atlanta, LA, Dallas, Houston, any major city. You will notice that it's more, and unless it's like an Afro club or like a Latin club or a club that's specialized in dancing like salsa night or something like that, like a typical club. You'll notice that it's mostly guys with their guys over there, hey, and then there's girls with their girls over there twerking on each other, twerking each other, stank pussy on each other.
50 Cent's In the Club sparked a new surge of electronic club music.
Oh, yeah. The 50 Cent In the Club record is, I still play that today, and it gets the club going crazy.
In each consecutive year, for the most part, it continues, up until 2010. In 2010, we see Kesha's song TikTok blow up.
Yeah.
The perfect party song about getting drunk.
That is my favorite, one of my favorite pop songs. And Kesha's one of my favorite pop artists.
And waking up feeling like P. Diddy. Interesting to note, by the way, she did change the lyrics at her most recent Coachella performance following the allegations against him. But after 2010, we see a halt to songs alluding to club culture. This is where I see a major difference between Gen Z and millennials. I might be painting with a broad brush right now, but to distill it down, millennials seem to have been sold this idea about the world from their boomer parents. They were told that to get a degree would be the ticket to success.
Are we talking about school?
So they hunkered off to college, with 2010 being the peak year of college enrollment. 21 million students were enrolled. And what do kids do at college? They party.
Okay, yeah, she's right. I never even wanted to go to college. All I wanted to do in my life, because I started my own record label when I was 16 years old, just recording my friends out in my mom's bedroom or my mom's office, whatever. And that's all I wanted to do in my life, is just sit at my house just like this, record music all day, and just chill and play my piano all day. I never thought about going to school to further that. I was like, why do I need to go to a university to do that? I could just go find somebody who is an expert at this and just take lessons with them. Why do I need to go to college? And, I'm actually, kind of low-key glad I did go to college. It's really been good, but it was never something I really wanted to do. And as I kind of got an understanding of college, I was like, okay, it makes sense, but community college is where it's at. It's way cheaper. You get the same education, and I mean, shit, man. A lot of people get really good jobs out of there, especially if you go to like a technical college. You land a career in something that we need. But these people around here, they want to go to UT, Texas Tech, you know, all these other type of big public colleges. Like if you go to like Yale or Harvard, that's like some different shit, like Vanderbilt, Purdue, because you have the ability, to network with people on a upper echelon. You know what I mean? Like if I went to Harvard and I was Barack Obama's daughter's age, I'm trying to meet Barack Obama's daughter and become her friend. You know what I mean? Because that's how you really build your network. These other colleges is like, okay, they're dope and everything, but these people don't really think about that when they go to these colleges. Like they just want to party, get drunk. And it's like, is that the real draw? Is just a party, buy a bunch of stupid merch for a football team that don't give a fuck about you or their players either? Because these niggas is making like millions and they're, oh, you get free tuition. So that's like, oh, $250,000 a player, but then you make like 30, 50 million each year off the merch. Yeah, fuck out of here.
This was college, bro.
Oh, this is St. Patty's Day. Here in Dallas, in 2016 was my first year doing my first St. Patty's Day block party. When I tell you they didn't pay me nothing but $100 and I DJ for 7 hours in that heat, bruh, that was amazing. We had so many people out there. It was ridiculous. St. Patty's Day is my favorite holiday for DJing. We did it for 3 years straight. And then, of course, you know, the family that owned the house, which were my friends, they ended up splitting up. So we had to stop. But I started hosting my own parties. And then COVID happened. So I was like, damn. So now I need to start getting back into that because St. Patty's Day is still today. It's like the best time to DJ. Everybody just dances to anything. Like you could be the worst DJ on earth.
The college I live
and have a successful St. Patty's Day. It's the best time to try out your DJ skills as a DJ. I swear.
Is actually deemed the nation's #1 party school by the Princeton Review in 2013. That was the thing to do at college. The idea sold. You go to college, party, and have fun.
Yeah.
Get the degree, get out, and make that money. But Gen Z was sold a different idea. The prices keep rising, money taken going to more luxurious accommodations, gyms, and stadiums.
You've probably heard about skyrocketing college tuition.
Ridiculous.
But what you may not know is what
These
many
worthless
colleges are
stadiums,
actually
man.
doing with all that money.
This has dropped enrollment down from 21 million to 18 million in 2023. And realizing that a degree doesn't really equate
Look, when they say high school is your golden years, it's not. Going to a university is your golden years. Man, I'll tell you, college, woo. If you're in college right now, man, take advantage of that shit, bro. It is like your golden years. But do not get a girl pregnant, please.
happiness. Considering there's a lot of unhappy employees that hate their jobs, they opt for something else entirely. I would consider Gen Z to be the entrepreneurial generation, the freelance generation. They're nihilistic about most things, but they still have to find a way to play the game. So technology use, lack of options, declining college enrollment, all seem to have been contributing to the decline in club culture.
There is no lack of
culture.
options. There's just a lack of people trying to get out there to find what's out there. Oh, now we're talking about dating now. Okay.
But there's still one major factor we haven't covered that's often overlooked, and that would be dating apps. Tinder blew up around 2013.
If you're on a dating app, you're fucking up. Just gonna nib it in the bud right now. If you're on a dating app, you are fucking up. Do not get on dating apps. It's a waste of time.
And what we see now are countless apps to pick from as far as dating goes. Most, if not all, club songs allude to hookups. It's a common trope. But when Tinder came out, it changed the game. Now you don't have to go to a physical space to find someone. You can literally just get on your phone and swipe like you're picking through a bag of chips. Before 1990, the most common way...
I think if you get on dating apps, man, you're just playing with people's time and playing with your own time. The best way to meet people is in person. Now, you do have a chance of meeting people online. You know, hopefully you can find somebody in this lifetime, but it's more authentic to meet people in person in a social setting. college is probably, I'd say high school and college are the best times to meet your soulmate, because y'all are like in a social setting. They see you, you know what I mean? And there's no like ranks or nothing, especially when you get to college. There's no, what do you call it? There's, you know, I say, oh, you're out of my league. There are no leagues in college. Anything could take a turn, bro. It don't matter if you're the star football player. Nigga, did you make it to the NFL and get a Super Bowl? No, okay? There's no leagues. We clearly see it. People become millionaires out of college all the time that you would least expect. So, I don't know, man. I just think that's the best time. Like when you're, and I tell everybody all the time, man, like if you're like in your 30s out of college and you're just now looking for a mate, it's going to be very hard for you to find a very dedicated woman that's actually your type, that's actually willing to go above and beyond for you. What do I mean by that? Like a woman who's going to keep her body up, who's going to keep her spirits up, who's not going to bring you drama, who has no kids, no situationships, no prior sexual attachments to an ex-boyfriend or ex-situationship. Somebody who's not too old. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be very hard for you to find a woman that you can look at and say, because I mean, physically, she got to be attractive. You're not dating no fucking slob, right? And then she has to be someone who's really going to love your dirty draws, right? Of course, you got to be able to be attractive and stuff to her too. But I think for guys, it's a lot harder because, and again, I'm not trying to talk shit about people or anything, but there's a lot of sloppy women that we know that can bag a bunch of above average dudes who got their shit going on. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. Because I think guys in general, the majority of guys, bro, they would smash a jar of peanut butter. But the majority of girls, you got to have something going for yourself. Even if they have nothing going for themselves, they expect the guy to have something going for himself. So as a guy, you're kind of like in a slump, man.
After 1990, we see a major uptick in couples meeting online, with it increasing up until a little after 2010.
And by the way, Instagram and Facebook, those are dating apps. So you dumbass people to get on there and say, oh, this is not a dating app. But yet you're posting half-naked pictures everywhere. It's a dating app.
Meeting for friends and has stayed number one since. So we see all these factors coming together, but there's still one more thing, the nail in the coffin, and that would be COVID-19. The pandemic changed everything, with bars, restaurants, and coffee shops closing down. A lot of people became comfortable staying in during that time, and the trend seems to have continued, though there was a slight uptick after the pandemic and restrictions were lifted, but I suspect that too will decrease.
Yeah.
The key demographic for nightclub goers are people from the ages of 18 to 34. Taking a step back from...
If you're going out to a nightclub when you're 18, that's kind of weird. You definitely sneaking in some places you don't need to be because you're not getting the full experience. I mean, you can't drink alcohol, but it's like that's how these clubs make their money. So I guess unless you're going to like concerts and stuff and not drinking, because most of these clubs make their money from alcohol. Unless you're going to like a hookah lounge or some kind of restaurant, I don't know. That's weird, but 99% of nightclubs, they're selling alcohol, bro, or pussy. I don't know. If you go to a strip club, you can go to a strip club when you're 18. I don't know, but she said 18 to 34. Yeah, and I'll also say this: the best time to go clubbing, to do all this mingling in the nightclub, especially as a guy, is in your early 40s. You're thinking like, man, your early 40s? Yeah, because when you're 18 through 25, you don't got no money. You just started your career, or you're just now getting experience under your belt. Unless you got mommy, daddy's credit card, you don't have no money to really just blow like that. But when you hit 40 and you've gotten that maturity, you got a network, you got a career, you got experience, and you kind of know, you kind of been through your things with females, you approach the club with like the smoke is clear. Like you understand it's not going to bother you. Like you know what's up. So you know what to do. You know what I mean? So I think it's the best time to party is when you're in your 40s. And if your 40s, and happily married, man, look, I think it's awesome. When I was in my first relationship, when I was in college, and we were going on like double, triple, quadruple dates, where it's just like all of us were coupled up and we all went out to the club together. That is like, that feeling was like no other. It's like we were all just vibing. It was amazing. But going out with your Galentine's things or a bunch of single dudes and shit like that, that shit get weird. Especially when these dudes have these dumbass male meetup groups and they be like, oh, we just gonna go out and talk business. Somebody dick gonna get hard, no diddy. And then now y'all want to go chase the hoes when y'all are supposed to be out there just talk about business and real estate, and then let one, which is why I like, why do y'all book these events at like the Virgin Hotel or at a fucking hookah lounge that got a fucking bar at the side? You need to start booking these events in like a fucking office building. But they book these events at these fucking brunch spots. You know, he's like, oh, we're gonna meet up. We're gonna meet up as brothers. This is men only. And they're all the dudes. I mean, look, you ain't gonna come in them gym shorts or something. So all the dudes come looking nice, and then let a couple females walk in there with their titties out and shit like that. And you had a couple of whiskey sours in your system. Okay, now you're not even thinking about real estate. You're thinking about the hoes. So I don't know, man. I just think, I think it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Statistics and graphs. What do people who are in those age ranges say about clubs? Their own opinions. This person cites COVID as a contributor as well as aging out of it. And another person says that home entertainment is to blame as well as monetary reasons. And last but not least, one of the most popular opinions was the preference for just plain peace and quiet. This, to me, seems to be the most popular reason. The atmosphere of bars and clubs seem to encourage numbing yourself to the point where you don't have sensory perception.
You don't have to go to the bars and clubs to network. I think people just don't fucking understand. They think you have to always go to the bars and clubs to network. You can go to the library. You can go to the art gallery. The thing is, people want to go where there's dancing and drunkenness and loud music. You know, if you really just want to connect with somebody, and because when we say connect, people want to get some pussy. Let's be honest with you. They want to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and they go to the clubs. Okay, let me kind of break this down real quick. Okay, why do guys and girls go to the clubs? Well, guys go to the clubs because that's when the woman is putting on her best, right? Versus you sitting in your college classroom where she's wearing no makeup. She didn't even do her nails. She probably didn't wear no deodorant. She got on gym clothes, baggy, hair not done. But then when you see her on Saturday at the club, she spent an hour putting herself together. She got her makeup done. She got her nails done. She actually brushed her fucking teeth. You know what I mean? And, you know, same thing with guys. Like, they put themselves together. So you want to see a woman that's at her best. And usually, physically, we see you first. So if you look like you put some fucking effort together, you looking sexy, that's where I want to see. I don't want to go to a fucking, you know, whatever, and you over here wearing gym clothes with a fucking coffee stain on your shit. You see what I'm saying? So that's why people go out to these clubs, because that's when people put on their best. And I bet y'all saying, oh, well, why don't you just go to church and find I mean, that's when they put on their best too, at church. I mean, yeah, that's true, but I don't recommend meeting women at church. That's kind of weird, especially as a black man. As a black man that's in your like 30s or younger, I don't recommend meeting no woman at no fucking church, bro. I mean, excuse me, I don't mean to say that in the same sentence, but y'all know what I mean. I don't recommend that at all.
Alcohol, drugs, and music all playing their part to almost numb yourself to closer connections. In this time we're in, we're seeking more. And that doesn't just mean from what the world has to offer, but from our close connections with others as well. The younger generations are looking for ways to connect with people in ways that actually foster conversation and the possibility of new friendships. We're wanting third places. You see it everywhere. We lack third places. Places that aren't your home, that aren't your work, but are a place where the community can gather. Places where you can engage either in direct social interaction through small talk and activities, or indirect social interaction while being surrounded by people with similar interests to yourself. There's been a rapid decline in these places since the beginning of the information age. Yes, a lot of people...
I disagree with that. Like I've been saying, I totally disagree with that. You can literally make up your own third place. The problem is that we always keep pivoting and thinking we have to go chase hoes all day. So we go to the fucking club. Y'all don't want to just like fucking just go to the library or rent out a fucking, they got like these office space places. Look, I went to, it's here in Fort Worth, Texas. They have like this place called Office Space. And you can rent out office space to like do your homework and have meetings and things like that. You can even rent out your own office for your business. And they have like these nice lobbies that got ping pong tables and stuff, and they serve coffee. I walked in there one time just to check it out, and I saw quite a few pretty women in there who were dressed very modest. And I'm like, this is where y'all need to go to find some good women. Right here. This is where y'all need to go.
Well, these places are just moving online. Well, yes, they are, but they aren't providing the same sense of satisfaction as you get from in-person interaction.
Doing shit.
Studies show that more time spent on social media is associated with higher levels of loneliness. The reason people become lonely is the lack of connection. Connection is created through understanding, by realizing, well, you're a lot like me. We have a lot in common. I can see from your point of view. We're linked in some way. It's a lot like empathy, by seeing through another person's point of view. You just don't get that nearly as deeply online as you do in person. Online interactions are fleeting. Sometimes you don't even know what the person looks like. It's just words on a screen. Hard to feel connected that way.
You Fortnite motherfuckers.
Can we rectify the concept of third places?
See, like, look at this girl. Look at that. Let me get a good shot of her. No diddy. I don't like people to look rough and rugged on these screenshots. But even this girl, wouldn't y'all say that she's fairly attractive? She's a cute woman, right? You won't really you see how the way she's dressed? She don't have her cleavage out. She's not looking all like hoish. You don't find these women at the club like that. You're going to find women like this who she speaks very well. She's making good content. You find women like this at the library, at the Starbucks. Why do y'all wonder why people be at Starbucks like that? It'd be like 2 p.m. and Starbucks be packed. Everybody got their laptop and shit. It's like, nigga, you could do that at your house. But they at Starbucks because they want to, like she said, find that third space to get the hell out the house because their head all clogged up. You know what I mean? But back to my point. If you want to find women, you can meet these girls at like these other places outside the bars and the clubs. And yeah, me being a DJ, they're like, man, you're a DJ. You're trying. Look, I don't care. I want y'all to be happy. Fuck.
Feel connected that way. Can we rectify the concept of third places? It seems this younger generation is looking for more places to pursue hobbies with like-minded people. Dedicated spaces to pursue things like pottery, music, gardening, playing games. Places where you don't have to spend.
Another thing why people don't go to these third spaces, like these designated third spaces, like these pottery classes, these painting classes, what is this? Like they're doing vegetable shit like that. It's because you have to fucking pay for that shit. And it'd be like $50 a person. Like I went to a candle making class. They charged us like $80 a person. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
ton of money to enjoy. No pounding music, but good songs with a lowered volume. Decently decorated where the atmosphere is cozy.
You gotta pay
and
for that shit.
Looking at different forums and blog posts, this seems to be the most popular idea. A hobby center. And I agree with this sentiment. I've moved to a few different places in my life, and if you aren't a student...
See, the thing about the hobby centers and shit like that is, unfortunately, to make those successful and thriving, because there have been a few of those in Dallas that have popped up, but they're like here today, gone tomorrow. To make those thrive, and I'm gonna be dead honest, to keep those thriving, you have to get rid of the alcohol. You cannot allow smoking. You cannot allow weed, none of that. If you drunk high, come in already like that, okay? Don't serve alcohol or allow them to smoke they fucking weed and cigarettes there. It needs to be a completely clean environment. Because when these dudes get this alcohol in their system, bro, it's like it just ruins everything. It's like their mind is not focused. You know what I mean? It's like, look, most dudes don't have dick discipline. As soon as they get a couple shots of alcohol in their system, they're going to want to fuck something. So when you're trying to build a genuine connection, if it's a girl you just met, you don't want to think, oh, yeah, I mean, look, in the back of your head, you probably want to have sex with her, but it's like, when you have that alcohol in your system, it's like now you really want to have sex with her. So now your conversation starts getting more sexual. You start, you're not, turns from friendly to fucking, and it's like, it's like, oh my God. It just ruins everything. So any of these spaces, I don't even fucking care if it's just wine. If they serve alcohol at all, it's not a hobby space. You might as well just make it a fucking club.
Work a very social job, it can be pretty hard to make friends. Meetup seems to be a popular recommendation, but upon looking at the different groups, most don't get a lot of people attending, and if they do, they are of a very different age demographic. I do think that as this issue continues to rise in the public's mind, more solutions will be found. With the rise of work from home jobs and social media careers, I think we'll start to see more people desperate to find their third place. Most are tired of rotting in their bedrooms on their phone and want to live more exciting lives.
That is the worst thing you can do. It's just to be on your phone all day, scrolling, looking at everybody else. It's like we're literally just looking at that show called Black Mirror? It's like I'm looking at you, you looking at me, and we both just kind of rotting away. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is the worst thing that can happen.
Characterized by a life online.
Doing that all day.
And I hope that in my lifetime we find it. I think we will.
We find what? Hold on, let me go back to what you said.
Desperate to find their third place. Most are tired of rotting in their bedrooms on their phone and want to live more exciting lives not characterized by a life online or at work. And I hope that in my lifetime we find it. I think we will.
The only way that we're going to find that, sweetheart, is if we all become Amish and live on a farm. Because we live in America, which I'm assuming she lives in America. Even if you don't, I mean, wherever you live, you got to work to eat, right? Unless you got like this crazy inheritance. We got to work to eat. So unless we living off the land, working on the farm, selling like fucking fireplaces and shit, you going to be around this technology, boy. You going to be around this tech. And most people can't even function like normally without their fucking phones. And it's really sad. It's really sad. Oh, it's really sad. But y'all make sure to like her video. Party culture is dead. Welcome Gen Z isolation. And Gen Z, I think it's like anybody right now that's I don't even know. I'm not even going to quote it, but it's the younger generation that's coming up. Everybody that's in college right now for their undergrad, I guess they would be considered Gen Zers. And it is getting worse, rough out here, man, because the connections, even with the heterosexual connections, it's crazy. It's crazy. Co-ed is dying out when it comes to nightlife and everything, and it's getting worse. Like and subscribe to M's Wild World, and like this video. I'm gonna put this video in the description, man. This is a good video. I like this.